Hi, in today's video I'm going to do a video on how does science benefit society? Does it even benefit society at all? So we're going to go into that aspect and answer the advantages and disadvantages of it, and as well as why do these things happen. So let's get started. So does science benefit society? So you could say that there's lots of human curiosity about many questions, like why are we here, what's the purpose of humans, like why are we on Earth, and all these kind of questions. And science can try to answer these questions, They can also be related to religious things as well, like is there a God and those sort of things as well. So there's lots of questions which humans may ask, but there isn't an answer to them yet. So science could potentially be there to answer these questions which humans have. Right. Technology is the application of scientific discoveries to problems and human needs. Technology is as old as humans. It was basically, you could say it's anything really, like a rock or something, drawing something out using a rock and what's it called, like a thing which you use on Stonehenge and stuff like that. So technology is as old as humans. And development of tools are defined as points in evolution. Improvements in agriculture and medicine machines are continually being made. They can also be used, science can also answer why questions, as I mentioned, as well as medical questions like why did somebody die, what are the reasons, what are the causes to this, is there a way of curing it, like cancer, you could say, things like that. As well as also previous diseases, if you like, which were previously there in the past but have now been solved due to technology and other things. So does science actually benefit society? Well, you can answer yes or no to this question. So let's have a go. You could answer yes. You've got things like GM crops, which produces a higher rate of food compared to your normal crop. it can also be used for finding new ways of doing things like machinery. You could answer in the future people may be replaced with machines and machinery. And other things as well, like they can make more money for businesses, which can improve a country's economy as a whole. And when I say that, I mean in terms of corporation tax, where taxes on business are decided depending on what current rate it is, and if a business finds a new way of making something which generates billions of pounds for the business, then some of that money is going to go into the profits, meaning that the government will get some of that money from the profits made by the business. So that's what I mean when I say in terms of businesses. So there's some ways in which they can help. Science is good in terms of those type of things. Ways in which they're bad. One way you could say this is in terms of like machinery and stuff, that could also have an effect on global warming and other issues. So if we find a way of making stuff quicker in a faster amount of time, then that might use more electricity to use it. Means that the power stations are using more fuel, which means that it can affect air pollution and CO2 emissions and stuff like that. Also as well, some scientific discoveries can seem beneficial, but when they're actually used, they're not beneficial. They actually do the opposite. As when they develop the theory into practice, it can sometimes be the opposite of what they think the result will be. So the result can be different compared to what they thought. An example of this can be seen with the medicine, where some scientists created a way of curing morning sickness for women who were pregnant. This stuff was used for women, but when the babies were born, they had deficiencies, which meant that their arms were bent round like a boomerang or something like that, or banana shaped, where they bend around slightly. So they're examples of where scientific discoveries can not always benefit society due to them not being fully thought through or not being done as well. So they're the types of advantages and disadvantages of technology and society. Yeah, as I mentioned, if you have another thing to mention as well for the disadvantages is that as population increases, world population this is, more food is needed to keep up with demand. and this can lead to pressure on environmental issues and destruction of natural habitats, as well as wildlife and things which maybe going extinct. They can be killed off due to more land being needed to plant more crops to generate more food to increase the supply needed for the demand. So that's a way in which it can have a downside. Also, as well as another way, disadvantage you could say is as technology increases or improves, then that means that it's probably going to be easier to find cures for problems. This can, in some countries, this can be worse because some countries where healthcare is partly subsidised by the government and some parts of the healthcare system is offered free by the government. This can be a problem because if you have a population which is increasing and more people living longer, then that means that even though the retirement age may increase slightly, means that you'll have more people using the free parts of the healthcare in the country, which can increase healthcare costs, which increases government spending, and taxation may have to increase somewhere. So that can be a problem if people living longer means more people are using healthcare in the country, which can have effect on the healthcare for the government, longer waiting times and things like that due to more people using it. And the only way to combat that is if there's extra supply going in, but if there isn't, then that can have a problem. Some governments believe it benefits the country. And it can be of economic benefit, as I mentioned. New science leads to new business opportunities as well. Leading to new markets being developed. Charity as well, that's another way in which that helps science. Charity give money to science funds, or charity can help science as well. Like cancer research. That's a way in which charity helps science improve. Another way in which it can be a benefit is in the form of like renewable energy. This has more positive impact on the Earth. If you've got renewable energy, then that's better. And if we were to have a situation in the future where everything was to be run on solar panels, which are powered by light, which are basically powered by the sun, then that can be a benefit to the world, because then we won't be creating any fossil fuels. While if we have a world which is run by nuclear power stations and things like that, that produces CO2 emissions, which affects global warming. So there are different types of examples of where it can benefit society if science goes along the renewable energy route. of solar panels and finding ways to generate lots of electricity due to the sun, basically. That's very much in benefit. There's evidence that climate change is of human origin due to increased emissions of carbon dioxide. Carbon emissions can only be reduced by changes in the way we use energy. Some technology meets human needs. There's also going to be ethical considerations about applying technological solutions. Some religions have special views on the integrity of the human body. Their strong beliefs held about the nature of human individuality, so the destruction of human embryos at various stages is forbidden. So, there are your different types of arguments of where science could or could not benefit society. I've given quite a few points there. If anyone like any extra points or whatever, then just put them in the cards below. But or if anyone's unsure about anything, let me know. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope it helps with your revision. And I'll do another video soon, finishing Unit 1. And I hope you enjoy watching the video. Thank you.